I was really like thinking to myself, like, why am I here? Why am I in this degree? Is there something out there that's better for me? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fejiro. Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna be doing a little impromptu video, which is kind of about my medical school journey, okay? Because I must be real for the masses. I must be real and say this med school journey has been tough. Maybe I'm the only person that's finding this journey very difficult. But I don't see a lot of like medical school YouTubers really talking about the realities of medicine and really how tough it is as a course, as a degree, as someone who's had to like face a lot of challenges within this course. I just wanted to do a little video talking about the realities of med school from my experiences of resitting a year, failing med school exams, going for a lot like mentally, going for a lot physically with my condition, sickle cell. So let's get into it. I have done a video about basically getting into medical school and the rejections and all of that side of medicine. So if that's something that's really, you know, up your street, or if that's something that you're currently going through, then I'd strongly recommend you to head over and watch that video. But 4 years later, I'm now finishing third year and I'm going into my fourth year of medical school. I say 4 years later and I'm in third year, so you should know that something went wrong. Something right. So in my third year of medical school, that was the pandemic year, and as someone with sickle cell, they did a risk assessment, and with my condition, I was basically deemed as too high risk to go onto the wards. And so for a significant chunk of that year, like placement wise, I wasn't actually going to placements because they would not let me. Long story short, that trickled down to, you know, the way I saw the year. It was all very much in the sense of me continuing the things that I was doing in year 2 and dragging them into year 3, you know, depending a lot on the lectures, depending a lot on what the lecturers gave us and, you know, those resources, those materials, instead of actually doing my own like revision outside of what the course content was, and really going into depth on like understanding every disease pathology. So I was still very much thinking like a year 2 medical student. Like, of course, the placement time out didn't help as well. So all in all, I had to repeat that year. And finishing this year, there's a lot that I've learned in the journey. There's a lot that, oh my God, I had to deal with, especially mentally wise. And I think I did a little video on Instagram about just the reality, the harsh reality of having to deal with the fact that you are unsatisfactory as a student, especially as a medical student. All throughout your career as a student, you place a very strong value on passing exams, on being satisfactory, on being higher than satisfactory in your exams, on being the A-star student. You place a lot of value and you think that that's where your worth comes from. And all of a sudden, it was kind of like a slap in the face to basically be told multiple times, because I had to do my reset and I failed that as well. It's basically been told multiple times by this exam board that you are unsatisfactory. And I think I internalized that, as any student in their right mind would. And it wasn't just, you know, my grades. I internalized it into myself, who I was. And so for the first like 6 months of this entire academic year, I was going through so much anxiety whenever I'd see other people, because my internal validation was from the exams. And so I thought that other people would also analyze me the same way I was analyzing myself. Basically, an entire phase of my life was so demeaning to myself. Like, I was not a friend to myself. My words, my thoughts were not kind to me. And what I was going through was so reflective of what I thought of myself. And the fact that foundation, that wasn't right. It was built on academics. And when that rug was pulled from underneath my feet, I was left falling into a very deep hole. So a lot of things happened that really threw me off mentally. And so I kind of really felt like there was no grasp in who I was. And it took me a long time, especially like, of course, my faith helped. Going back to understanding who God says I am really helped. But also understanding that, you know, I had to change a lot of the things that I was doing. Going through all of that change and all that processing, I'm just really like molding myself into knowing that, you know, I don't know everything and it's okay to not know everything, really it really was the pinnacle of my growth during this past year. I would say the one thing that I wish I could tell my younger self is just you have to learn from others. You have to be able to go through the process of learning from other students. Like, you have to sacrifice your pride and ego, because there's a big part of that in medical school. You know, you want to seem like you know it all. You don't want to seem like that student who just doesn't know everything. Like, I had that mentality so much. Like, I didn't want to seem like the student who was like failing to grasp the concepts. So I would basically put on this facade that I knew it, I was, you know, on it, when in fact, no, I was a hot mess. And so it's so important to be honest and front, open and honest. And if you have great friends that you can do that with in med school, even if you don't, just be honest that you don't. And I'm sure you will build great friendships because you're starting from a foundation of honesty. So that was one of the things that I really learned over the past couple of months and this past academic year. And also, of course, during that period, as you can imagine, a sis was thinking to herself, okay, if you can't pass medical school exams, why are you still here? And the thing is about failing an exam is that it throws into question why you're even in your degree. And honestly, like, I love medicine. I will tell you that for sure. Like, I really love my degree, and doing this year and doing this year again has really taught me, because I've gone, you know, through more placements than I did last year, has really brought to the surface of my mind, you know, why I really love medicine, what I started this degree for. But when I was in the midst of that, you know, resit and retaking the exams, I was really like thinking to myself, like, why am I here? Why am I in this degree? Is there something out there that's better for me? Am I better suited to, you know, entrepreneurship? Because, you know, I was doing a lot of things outside of medicine as well. And I was like, you know what, I'm really good at this. Should I just focus on that instead of medicine? And it was just such a battle, an internal battle for myself. And yes, I contemplated quitting about 1,003 times. Honestly, I will be very honest with you. It took the strength, the will of God to really remind myself why I started this course in the first place, because it's so easy to feel defeated when something goes wrong. It is so easy to feel like you're thrown completely off course when something like a reset, a retake, or failing exams comes and it stops and it interrupts your journey. But I'm here to say, even through those times, it was really, really important for me to ground myself, like I said, in the reason why I started, and really going into, for example, with me with sickle cell, that's a huge component of why I even wanted to study medicine in the first place. I grew up around the healthcare system. I saw how I was treated. I loved the way that, you know, the doctors and nurses were so kind and caring towards me, and I had a first-hand experience of what healthcare looked like in improving the lives of a patient. And so I was like to myself internally, this is what it is to study medicine. This is what it is to dedicate yourself to treating patients, to making patients better. You've seen it firsthand. That's why you started this. So don't abandon that vision just because you've hit a wall in the road. Internalizing that was a huge part of why I decided not to quit. Of course, I definitely feel like I wouldn't even have done that in the first place, because if you know my parents, wahala, because how much like joy and hope they put into my med school journey. My mom keeps on saying like she's a medical student as well, because she's gone through so much of this journey with me. So I definitely could not have abandoned this journey, not even just for myself. Like, I know I say like don't let your parents be the be all and end all of your decision, but my parents are such a huge part of my journey, especially with health wise. They have been through the thick of it with me, and so I know that doing this journey is not just I'm doing this by myself. I have to make these decisions by myself. I have to factor in my parents. I have to factor in, you know, people who have supported me along this journey, and I definitely had to finish it. I have to graduate and do the just so I can know that this is my reward for having gone through it, okay? For having gone through it. The storm and the challenges and the battles, they have to bear fruit for me. It's a very short video, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the realities, because med school is not just a straight linear journey for a lot of people. People have to resit exams, people have to retake a year, and it doesn't affect the outcome. Like, you're still going to be a great doctor. I had to internalize that as well. You're still going to have to learn and change and grow throughout your medical school journey. It is such a tough degree. I cannot kid you. There are times where you'd contemplate this degree, this life, what you're doing, the choices that you're making, the friends that you're going to have to basically drop because you just don't have time to keep up with them, the way that they go out and their lifestyle, because it's more freer than yours. There's so much that you have to sacrifice during this degree. that you really come to terms with why you're doing it. And so, like I said, I really just wanted to be upfront and honest about the realities of my med school journey, because it's definitely not been linear, but it is going to be worth it, because I know exactly why I'm doing this. I'm very excited to, you know, see what the future has in store for me. I'm basically contemplating doing an intercalation, and I'm really excited for that because I really do want to delve into global health. I had like 1 month of a global health placement and I loved it so much. So I'm definitely going to be delving into global health during my intercalation. If I do decide to do one as a master's, I'm so excited for that. So that's going to, you know, prolong my med school journey a little bit. But all in all, like, I'm doing this because of, like I said, my vision, my goal. I'm very strong on that. And so nothing at this point is going to deter me. I'm just gonna continue enjoying the journey. And I think that's the highlight of this video, is enjoy the journey, the process, the ups, the downs, the challenges, the rejections, the unsatisfactory exam results. You know, you're gonna have to go through so much, and I think at the end of the day, now I'm more at peace with myself than I ever was last year. And I think a huge part of that was basically the unlearning I had to go through, the breaking down, the anxiety. All of that needed to take place for me to become at peace with who I am as a student, as a well-rounded individual, not just a medical student, as a human being. So this journey will definitely teach you, knock you upside the head so many times, but it's worth it in the end if you have a really strong, you know, vision of what you want to get out of this and why you're doing this in the first place. So all the love in the world. I know you guys have got this. I'm sending you all love, because I know this journey is very difficult for so many med students out there. And if you want more content like this, then definitely make sure to subscribe, like this video, and tell me about your experience. If you're going to medical school, if you're just about to enter, if you're already finishing, if you're halfway there like me, what's your experience been like? I would love to know. Let me know in the comment section below. Muchas gracias, much love everybody, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.